Okay, so it's April, as Jane mentioned this week in the DYC. March went fast, huh?
Yeah.
It just went really fast. So today we're going to shift into our theme for April and talk about why we're focusing on aligned awareness in April. That's going to be my talk today. But we'll start with our centering and grounding, and then we'll go into the talk. And then we're going to do a brief 10 points practice and some sitting meditation today. And that'll become clear through the talk, I think, more so. Yeah, and before we do that, you'll have a chance to introduce yourself and where you're connecting from, and have a chance to respond to the talk, and even just check in on our theme for the month, and where you're feeling at with it and all that sort of stuff as well. So I'll just make sure we're all muted so we have a quiet environment. Okay, so let's just feel our connection with the earth. And open to the energy of the earth today. And giving yourself some time to slow down, to connect with that vibration of the earth, to feel its presence. To open to the vastness, the magnitude, the darkness, the moonlight quality of the earth. And to feel how those energies begin to mingle and open into your being as well. So to feel the interconnectedness of those qualities. To feel how your energies intertwine with the energies of the earth. Your place with the earth. How you're held in the earth. And then let there be time for your spine to respond to the energies of the earth as well, to the support and stability, the strength and the centeredness. And just feel those qualities rise up through your spine, up through the back of your neck, opening up the back of your neck and the back of your head, unhinging your jaw, so that there can be ease and relaxation through your body. And you can feel yourself connecting with the sky as well. So the yin of the earth, the yang of the sky, unhinging your jaw. Feeling the hollow of your throat and the breath coming into your lower belly. Elbows directly underneath your shoulders, not pulling you forward or back, so that you can just be in the centeredness of your being. Nowhere to get to, nowhere to be, resting in the centeredness of your being. So resting in the intrinsic goodness of your being, resting in the preciousness of your being and the uniqueness of your life. Feeling the vastness, the stillness, the silence and peace of the earth. And connecting with the openness, the tenderness, the responsiveness of your heart. So we do this each time we come together. We remember who we are. We remember why we're here. And we can do this several times throughout the day. Anytime we feel ourselves caught up in distraction, or when we lose our focus or concentration, when we feel confused, when we forget who we are, when we forget the preciousness of our life, when we feel ourselves shutting down, when we feel disconnected from the earth or the sky. And when we do so, it will help us to open to the tenderness and the responsiveness of our being. To connect with the chi and life force energy that runs through our body, the ebb and flow of the chi and life force energy. And also to all that has come before us, the ancestors of the land, the lineage of the teachers. And we can also know that each one of us here have access to this intrinsic goodness, this internal wisdom, this remembering. And so does each person in our life. And that each time we come back to ourselves like this, each time we come back to the earth, each time we open into our bodies, each time we connect to our internal wisdom and strength, that we help others around us remember who they are and why they're here. And then there's no need to fix or change anybody. There's no need to offer advice. We can just be in our own internal alignment. And so that's what we're shifting into this month and what we're talking about today. What the focus of the talk today is why we're focusing on aligned awareness for April. So you can start to transition out to our circle here and to the teaching talk for today. And I really want to drive this point home, is that we don't practice meditation to become good meditators, because that's, a pretty useless skill. To sit and meditate on a meditation cushion as a solitary experience, it's isolating. It's, in many ways quite a solitary experience that doesn't translate to the rest of your life. And in many ways it does, but that experience of being a good meditator, it's not the end goal. We practice meditation so that we can meet our lives and those in our lives. And, meditation, depending, Linda brought up a point a few weeks ago on the on my Mat Today thread about, why does everybody post how long they practice meditation for, especially when they post about seated meditation. And, it's sort of an interesting metric because, if we practice meditation for an hour, it means that the other 23 hours of our day, we're not meditating. And in the rest of our days, then we can say that we're not practicing meditation. And then we need to ask ourselves what we're practicing in the rest of our days. So this is why this month we're practicing aligned awareness. And I would say that in the rest of our days, what we're normally practicing, and this can go back to, it would behoove us to pull up the classes on Samskaras, because in the classes on Samskaras, we talk about, the grooves that we normally follow, then they get deeper and stronger because they become more practice. But what we normally practice is being distracted. So, if we sleep on average 7 to 8 hours a night, and even that space is quite distracted based on the number of requests that I get for yoga classes on help with sleep and problems with insomnia. So even that space has been bombarded by the distraction of the waking life now. So we can say that on average we're awake for around 16 hours. So let's say, for argument's sake, that we're spending probably 13 hours of our day in distraction. And we practice distraction over and over and over again. And so we get good at it, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. We're becoming experts on distraction. So let's look at what distraction really means. Distraction means that we allow something or someone to control where our attention goes, rather than focusing our awareness on one thing for an extended period of time. So in meditation, we're practicing focusing our attention on one thing for an extended period of time, but then the rest of the time, we're allowing things outside of ourselves, mostly, to determine where our attention goes. Now, in truth, we don't need to be at the mercy of things and people around us. We can choose where we want to place our attention. So I will give you an example. For some reason, about a month ago, at the beginning of March, I had a vision of myself sitting in meditation, free of distraction, completely connected. It was like a vision of myself sitting in meditation in this white orb, completely connected to my central channel, completely connected with my true self. And this mental image, which came to me very clearly, filled me with a sense of internal strength and renewed energy. But it was clear that this meditation image, or this clairvoyant image that came to me, wasn't the end point. It was a way for me to connect with my true self and the way that my true self wanted to express itself. So what this image, this message was telling me was that if I could, the way that it sort of came to me was that if I could return to sitting meditation for 45 minutes a day, which was a practice of focus and concentration, I would find a wellspring of creativity, energy, and knowledge within me. So a lot of you are familiar with a book that we read for our book club a while back called The Posture of Meditation by Will Johnson. And he talks about the posture of meditation, or how we place our body in meditation. And often in our day, we experience tension and anxiety as a way that we brace against what's happening. But when our bodies are balanced and relaxed, there's no longer a limit to the way our human expression, the way our true self can express itself. And we don't restrict the natural movement of energy in our bodies, in our minds. And I know a lot of you experience this also when you practice Yoga Nidra, when you practice Yin Yoga. There's a freedom in your human expression. There's a freedom in the natural energy that flows in your bodies. So throughout his teachings, Will Johnson shows us how to align our bodies in a natural, comfortable alignment in seated meditation, so that we can accept who we are in truth. And then there's no need to experience anything other than who we naturally already are. So we come into alignment with our true self, our true being. So in other words, as we let go of some of these uncomfortable posturings, or if we go back to what I was saying before, as we let go of some of the distractions that we place on ourselves from people and things outside of ourselves, we begin to align with who we really are. This is why we're doing Alignment April. And when we do this, we discover deeper insights into our true nature. So what Will Johnson says is that our meditation depends on three things: alignment, relaxation, and resilience. So he goes on to say that whatever personal postural habits we have in our body and our mind, they can obscure the truth of our enlightened nature. But when we practice this internal alignment, that whatever is obscuring the truth of our enlightened nature is gradually dissolved through this posture. In the same way that the flow of water could dissolve sandstone. So this internal alignment is really key, so that we can let go of whatever is distracting us. The things, the people, whatever is creating that confusion, that complexity in our lives that are keeping us from aligning with whatever wants to be expressed from our truest nature. So what happened to me in March? Well, a lot. In fact, I'm actually quite floored what happened. I started sitting every day, and I let go of a lot of distractions. And in fact, I can't believe how distracted I was. I started sitting for 45 minutes a day, and I began aligning with the truth of what wanted to be expressed for me. I filled an entire journal with poetry, an entire journal. And that was just because there was the focus. I let go of all the things that people had said to me in the past, like these outdated beliefs that, past professors, teachers, that people had said to me that, you're not a writer, you can't be a writer, you're a terrible writer. And I aligned with the truth of my being and the expression that wanted to come out. Filled an entire journal with poetry. Started going to poetry writing readings, meetups, aligned with those people, started to express those things. So that alignment, that expression of the truest part of my nature started to just flow, really in an unimpeded way. Not only that, but I was able to, and there was a lot of joy that came from that. It was just really incredibly joyful. Not only that, but I also began to align with the relationships and people that were most important in my life, and let go of people and relationships that just were not important. And so I was able to really, in particular, my behavior affected those closest to me. So Tim and Trinity in particular. And so, Tim, who would normally start his day with a lot of time scrolling through social media, he also adopted the pattern. I never really started my day that way, but he noticed that, I chose to not go onto social media at all anymore, except for to use it as the tool that we use to disseminate our videos and things, but not to be on it otherwise. And what I noticed was that, Tim used to spend quite a bit of time in the mornings just scrolling through. And what I noticed is that he started to make a change in the mornings to using his phone or his mobile device as an educational tool. So instead of this kind of mindless scrolling and letting whatever come into his energy field, he was now choosing what was going to come into his energy field. So he was educating himself for an hour in the morning with photography videos, and not just what was on YouTube, but he actually registered for a membership community. So this was like really higher end education that was quite educational. The other thing that happened was that Trinity and I was really able to focus on our relationship in a much more meaningful way, in that we have started spending time together every day. And not just, how was your day, or not just those passing conversations, but that I was able to tune into what was important to her and spend time with her with what's important to her. So prior to March break, I noticed that when she came home from school one day, she really lit up about placing gold in the 1,500 meter run. So long distance running. And when she runs in soccer, she runs like a long distance runner, not a sprinter. And so I'd noticed that before, that she has strength like that. And so this really lit her up. And I said, when I was her age and through my 20s, I ran long distance. I quite loved it. So I said to her, if that's something you like to do, I'd be happy to do that with you, because I knew that would be time that we could spend together. It wasn't something that would revolve around consumerism or spending money, that we could really bond together, and that we could talk and that kind of thing. So for the past week, we found this app, this Couch to 5K app. So we've been training for 5K. We've been running together every day. And so we've got that time together every single day that we go out. And, I get to spend that time together with her. And it's really meaningful because, and she really looks forward to it. So it's something that's really important to her. And it's relating to one of the most important people in my life. And it's really building a relationship with her that is meaningful. So it's that really focused concentration. And I feel like it's teaching her how to focus and concentrate as well. So it's meeting her where she's at with focus and concentration. And I think it's another example of really aligning for her right now, that's where it really makes her heart sing. And so I can meet her in that space. So I think that's another really great example of how it's allowed me to align in relationship too. So, yeah, I wrote a little poem about it as well, and then I'll hand it over to you. The poem is called Aligned Awareness. Where am I placing my attention? Is it with people and things that matter most to me? Or is my focus pulled in every direction, determined by mobs, marketing, and algorithms outside of my energy field? I reject the chaos of complexity and confusion. Instead, I choose simplicity. I align within a space where the clarity of my true self echoes freely. Okay, so I'll turn it over to you and let you guys introduce yourselves, where you're connecting from, and your thoughts on how this relates to you in your life, and then we'll go into practice. But know that the practice is for your life, and that in your life, it's like, if I'll just use Paige as an example, we practice in our lives. We practice alignment in our lives and meditation in our lives. So we practice, Paige right now being with her stepdaughter, being present to her stepdaughter. When she's with her stepdaughter, when she's with her daughter, she's with her daughter, right? That's the practice. We're not practicing to be good meditators. And we need to simplify our lives as much as we need to simplify our lives so that we can be with the people in our lives that matter to us most, and so that we can do the things that matter to us most, that we can express or have the things in our lives that matter to us most. And everything else needs to fall away. And that might mean making some tough decisions, but it is possible. Okay, I've talked enough.
Sure. Okay, I'll go real quick. Paige, I'm connecting from Texas. And this is just what you said about making space for what's most important. That's front and center for me, including my relationship to Facebook, which I haven't gotten on for quite a long time, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to use it to maintain connection without making it a thing. Realizing that I need more practice right now in my life than the time I can fit in before I go to work and do all the rest of my life. And that means that other things have to go, I'd have to let go of other things. And that's okay. A little scary, but okay. I'm really glad to be here.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, Diane.
I just wanted to say a little bit about social media and phones. I found that my mindset has changed in the last few months in the way that I think it's maybe the yoga nidra meditations and just the whole, all of your teachings in the last few months, because maybe without me even knowing it. Because the other day I always take my phone wherever I go, and I went to work the other day and I forgot my phone at home. So I thought to myself, I'm okay with that. I don't need my phone. I can go a day without my phone. And I was, and it actually felt good not to have my phone on me all day, not to be able to look at it at break times and at lunchtime. And I find that I still go on Facebook, but I find that I'm not drawn to it like I used to be. And yeah, I'm just finding that it's just kind of coming to me, like I'm having a different mindset. Just it's coming almost naturally. Yeah. So
I'm Ivy from New York. I've been noticing lately that that for probably a good portion of my life, I have been involved in the care of others or the things around them rather than the care of them, so to speak. I'm not sure if that's clear, but all the stuff that has to be done for this or that person, and then where's the relationship? You know, how much time am I actually spending with that person rather than taking them here or there, or, you know, arranging things or doing their laundry or whatever it happens to be. I'm not building a relationship. I'm focusing on the things around the people rather than those people. So I have a bit of practice to do with that.
Okay, does that feel complete for now? Anything else bubbling to the surface? Okay, so go ahead and rest back. We're going to make sure you have what you need for 10 points practice for lying down and for seated practice. I'm going to let you get settled lying down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you're lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And adjust the position of your feet so that your back is relaxed, so that you can breathe freely. Place your palms on your belly so that your elbows are on the ground. Let your eyes close to encourage an inward focus. Feel your 2 feet, the 2 sides of your buttocks, your mid-back, your 2 shoulder blades, your 2 elbows, and the back of your head on the ground. And feel the support of the earth underneath you. Feel the vastness and openness of the earth underneath you. And let your body settle, relax, and release tension. So feeling the support of the earth is key here. The more you let go, the more you relax, the more you release tension, the easier it will be when you come to seated as well. And also, the more open you will be to your experience here, but also to the people and things you choose to allow to blossom in your life. So when we try to do everything, when we try to handle everything, when we're disconnected from the earth, we have to hold ourselves up by sheer ego strength and control. This breeds subliminal fear and tension. So right here, when we lie on the ground, we are practicing. We are practicing letting go, opening, and connecting, so that when we come to seated, we can open and connect to our central channel, so that we can open and connect to the free expression of our true selves, so that when we come into our lives, we can open and connect to the people and things that we love. So feel your feet on the ground. Feel your big toes. And breathe in through all the pores of your big toes. Notice what sensations are present. Feel the bottom, the sides, the top, the bone, the toenail, the tip of the big toe. Notice that when you open to the sensations of the big toes, that at a certain point, the tension begins to unravel. That the holding and gripping reveals itself and it begins to release into the earth. And then breathe into your second toe. Feeling the top of the toe, the sides, the bottom, the skin, the bones, the tip of the second toe. Notice your breath slowing down and tension, gripping and holding, flowing down into the earth like a gentle rainfall. And then feeling the third toe, feeling its tension. Notice any gripping and holding, taking your time, allowing the tension to fully present itself. Knowing that there's wisdom in your body, there's nothing you need to do or make happen. That when you open your awareness into your body, that the tension will release and dissolve all on its own. Opening your awareness into your fourth toes. And then your baby toes. Feeling how all 5 toes are starting to spread out, lengthen, become more truly who they are, more fully their own expression, taking up more space, not so retracted. And you can go back to the other toes, the big toe, any of the toes, breathing into all the toes together, feeling for any remaining tension. Following that tension as it dissolves down and into the earth. And then feeling into the ball of the foot behind the toes. Feeling the bones and the dense tissue around the bones, the top of the foot. And you may notice as you start to feel into the parts of your foot behind the toes, the ball of the foot, that there's releases happening further up in your body. You're feeling into the brittleness of the arch of your foot, the front, the middle, the back, the inside and the outside. Feeling the tension pour down out of the arch of your foot. Maybe the leg bones settle, the pelvis relaxes, maybe the shoulders and the jaw. Let go. So the entire body is mapped out through the meridian lines in the bottom of the foot. So it's not unusual for the rest of your body to start to release and surrender to gravity, let go into the earth. And then feel into the heel, the bone and the dense tissue. the Achilles, the inside of the ankle bone, the outside ankle bone. The front of your foot. Notice how your foot is letting go of all its tension, feeling completely relaxed and at ease. Opening to sensation from your knee down through your ankle now. Letting tension dissolve from your knee through your ankle, feeling the bones of your lower leg, the inside, the outside. Tension on the inside of the knees, the outside of the knees, the backs of the knees, the kneecap. Just feeling the lines of energy just streaming down through the ankle, through the bottom of the foot, through the sole of the foot and into the earth. And then feel your buttocks on the ground. Notice any gripping or tensing or holding, and give yourself permission to let go. Know that you don't have to hold on anymore. That you can surrender to the earth, that you can be held by the earth. Feeling tension in the buttocks. Letting the buttocks soften and release. And from the tension in the fleshy part of the buttocks, moving into the tension that is held in the bones of the pelvis, the sacrum, the pelvis, the tailbone, the pubic bone, the iliac crest. Giving your time to really feel into the tension that's been stored and held here. And then feeling your legs from your knees down to the tops of your leg bones, the round ball socket of your femur joint. So feeling the bones of your upper legs. Feeling into the tension held at the innermost layer of the upper leg bones. And letting that tension just slide down through the pelvis, through the buttocks, and into the earth. And then moving from the density of the bones, the innermost layer of the upper legs, to the surrounding tissue and muscles of the upper legs, the the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, and the backs of the legs. And letting all of this soften, feeling into the tension, letting it release, letting all the gripping and holding just let go. And then feeling the bottom ribs and the ground, your mid back. Feeling tension in your mid back. Tension in your belly, your low back. Feeling the connection with the earth through your lower ribs, your side ribs. Opening to the tension here in your belly, around your organs here. And just release and let that tension sink down. And then feel your elbows heavy on the ground. Let tension from your fingers, your wrists, your forearms release down from your fingers, your wrists, your forearms, in through your elbows into the earth. And then feel the tension from your shoulders, your upper arms. Lie down, tension from your neck, from your throat, the back of your neck, the front of your neck, your shoulders, your chest. Let it all glide down through the front of your upper arms to your elbows and into the earth. And then feel your shoulder blades. Feel your shoulder blades resting on the ground. Feel the tension through the shoulder blades and up into the interior of your chest, your upper lungs, collarbones. Let that tension dissolve down through your shoulder blades and into the earth. And then open your awareness into your head as a feeling place, not a thinking place. Feel into your temples, behind your eyes and your eyebrows, the back of your forehead. Let tension come forward and allow it to dissolve down through the back of your head. Feel your brain. Feel the tension and holding and gripping of your brain and allow that tension to dissolve. Feel the tension at the back of your nose, your teeth, the root of your tongue, your occipital ridge, the hollow of your throat, the backs of your ears. And then breathe into your body as a whole. And allow any remaining tension to release and dissolve. So keep letting go. Keep letting your body melt into the earth underneath you. So staying connected with your body and the earth. Slowly make your way up to a seated position. You may sit on a chair, on a meditation cushion, on some blocks. Sit in a way that is going to allow for the most ease, alignment, relaxation, and resilience in your body today. And when you sit, you want to sit on your seat so that you are connected with the earth underneath you. Feel your buttocks settle. Connect. You want to feel your pelvic floor connected with the earth. So there's that connection with the earth underneath you. Your knees are relaxed. Your pelvis tips forward slightly. Your thighs are relaxed, so there's no holding or tensing. The inside of your upper thighs are relaxed. Just check in and see, are my legs relaxed? And also to see if there's a sense of a firm foundation, a foundation of support underneath you. And then we're just going to take a moment to rock forward and back from our pelvis over our leg bones so that the length of your front body matches the length of your back body. And this will give your body maximum space in your abdomen for your internal organs to settle and to open your breathing. And we're aligning our body with a small expenditure of energy so that you'll be relaxed and you'll be able to experience softness and ease and vibratory flow. You'll find at a certain point, you'll be able to feel your central channel. You'll be able to feel an openness along your back line, right along the front of your spine. You'll also experience a condition of natural awareness. This state of relaxed alertness. You also want to just lean side to side slightly, very small movements, until you find that balanced seated meditation space. Again, you're searching for that openness along the central channel. And you'll begin to experience the buoyant support of gravity. Your elbows want to be directly underneath your shoulders, not pulling you too far forward or too far back. The placement of your hands will be different for everybody. Some might cup them in their lap, loosely, one on top of the other. Or you may be more comfortable with your hands on your legs. So there should be no need to tense or brace yourself in your posture. No need to hold yourself upright. So feel that lengthening of the spine, opening through the back of the neck, ears, over the shoulders, a kind of energy pulling you up towards the sky. There's an uprightness and dignity to your body. But allow the rest of, your skeleton will hold you up. And then tension can release from your body. So notice where there's tension in your body and allow that tension to go. And notice what happens to your posture. When your body's aligned, your mind becomes still and open to your experience. So let's check in again with our head and our neck again. Feeling the inner space that opens when you allow the back of your head to lift, your chin to come slightly down, the back of your neck to be elongated. So there's an inner relaxation that occurs when your head and your chin and your neck are floating in a natural and elongated way along with the spine. Check that your tongue is floating, your jaws are unhinged, your throat is soft. You feel the hollowness of your throat. And just notice the feeling of your mind when your mouth and your tongue and your throat are hollow and relaxed. Notice the sense of openness and the free flow of energy. Let your eyes soften. Let your attention rest in the backs of your eyes. So our eyes are often very busy, tracking and scanning, taking in all the visual stimulation of our external world. And right now we can allow them to rest and settle back, soften, let them be heavy. Tune into your body again. Notice if any tension has crept in. Explore your body, feel into it. Notice if there's a sense of relaxation, a sense of alignment, a sense of ease and resilience. And can you feel the subtle energy of your body? Can you feel its life force? The beating of your heart, the movement of the blood circulating through your body. Feel your connection to the earth and the downward flowing energy, taking all the tension of your body. So allow the tension of your body to dissolve down into the earth. And at the same time, there's an upward flowing energy through the crown of your head. There's an inner dignity, There's a lift. There's a sense of inner strength that's connecting you with the sky. And feel the spaciousness in your body, and the chi and the life force energy moving through it. And also the places where there's holding and tension. And just continue to let that tension flow down so that there's a constant wash of energy down through your buttocks, through your perineum, through your knees, through your legs, through your feet. So that you're allowing this constant steady flow down. There's a constant relaxation, letting go, melting, releasing down into the earth. Your buttocks keep melting into the earth. And so remembering this is a practice. This is a practice in cultivating focus, concentration, one-pointed attention, so that we can meet our lives. We practice seated meditation so that we can create openness, spaciousness in our central channel, in the core of our being, so that there can be the freedom of expression for our true self to flow, express itself without inhibition, without the tension that holds its freedom of expression back. We don't practice meditation as an end in and of itself. And so as we move off the meditation into our lives, we notice that we can bring this openness, this focus, this one-pointed attention, this intention, this aligned awareness to the people, to the things that matter to us most. We can simplify. Instead of practicing distraction, we can practice aligned awareness and stay connected to our own internal strength, to our own internal wisdom, so that that can have freedom of expression in our lives. We can let go of practicing distraction and choose something different. Okay, so when you're ready, we will come back to our circle. We have some time if there are some thoughts or questions about the practice today or your practice in general.
Feel a bit spaced out and nauseous.
I think it's really interesting to rest awareness in the backs of the eyes. I feel like now as I go about my day and I meet the people in my life, if my awareness is in the backs of my eyes, it might freak them out a bit.
Say more about that. Why would that freak them out?
Well, maybe just because it freaks me out a little bit to feel that, like that new sensation. So maybe I don't really need to even be concerned about their reaction, but just to rest in the felt sense of the backs of the eyes. So, yeah, it was a relaxing experience.
The intention behind resting in the backs of the eyes is that our eyes are usually grasping and seeking. And so to let the attention drop back allows visual stimulus to not to be seeking visual stimulus, to allow it to just to allow the visual stimulus to soften a bit rather than seeking it out. I reflected on this quite a bit on Friday when I did partook in a forest bathing tour. And part of the forest bathing tour is that you go through the forest in a very mindful way, and you're opening different senses at different times, and at one point you're opening your visual field. So I was really aware that you could really seek and grasp visually, and I made a huge intention at that point in the walk through the forest to allow the visual stimulus or visual images to come to me rather than to like seek out and grasp them, because I think we can just really be kind of graspy with our eyes. Does that make sense? Yeah, and it exhausts us in my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of tension in our eyes, and our eyes get very tired. We can just relax that a bit.
I can attest to that. I found it very difficult to soften behind the eyes, and yeah, my mind was racing. Well, kind of repeats going over the events of this morning, and I can definitely understand what you mean by that. I like that terminology. Forest, did you call it forest bathing?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds really nice.
Yeah, look it up, because probably most of you have people doing it around you. Offering forest bathing tours around you. Started in Japan, but there's lots of people doing it in the world. Offering. And you can go out and do your own forest bathing. But I think also when we practice, I think the eye pillows are such a great tool for that as well, because then you get I'm such a huge fan of the eye pillow. Then you get the weightedness of the eye pillow on your eyes, which allows your eyes to sink back. Do you have an eye pillow, Madeline?
Not specifically, but I do use a soft scarf it's black, so, or I just put the whole blanket in front of my face.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to breathe sometimes.
You could even fill a sock with some beans, like some dried beans. Put that on, make your own. It's pretty simple to make one from things you have in your home. But just the weightedness of that can really help to rest the eyes.
Okay.
Because I think that sensation, and then we definitely bring that in through most of the yoga nidras, if not all of them, that idea of the eyes sinking back and resting back and stopping that tracking and scanning and looking and grasping, because we tend to be quite visually dominant as well. So I noticed even on that forest bathing tour, my reluctance to even partake, that kind of bristled at that part of the tour, because it tends to be the way we take in the world, especially the natural world, right? We tend to go out there and take photos. What about, listening and feeling and sensing? And there are other ways to connect. That sense just tends to be so dominant.
I find it interesting also how much relaxation comes when my legs are relaxed, and when you mentioned relaxing the knees and stuff, just kind of is a little bit new
When
to
you're sitting,
yes, and also the laying down part. Like I really felt into the thigh bone when you said like to go the sensor. It's not the exact words, but mostly when the sitting practice was happening.
it's really crucial for sitting to have that foundation, because if there's any kind of gripping through the legs at all, then there can't be ease in the upper body, because the whole thing, if that foundation isn't relaxed, if the pelvic floor isn't connected to the earth, then there's that just underlying tension to your whole practice. So whatever you need to do, don't get stuck in the I need to sit on a meditation cushion trip. Sit up on a chair. If your knees are in the air and there's tension in your inner thighs or tension in your thighs, you need to adjust your position or lift the cushion so that everything in your legs, your inner thighs, your knees can be relaxed and rested so that your spine can lift. Because if there's tension here trying to hold you up here, then it's just there's just that underlying tension that's going to ride through the whole practice. And then there's no openness or free flow of chi in the practice. And you just fight yourself the whole time. Good. And if there's a fighting of tension through the whole practice, there's a fighting of tension through the whole practice. There's no free flow of energy. There's no connecting with the central channel. You're just dealing with tension the whole time. This is why, why Alignment April is just, we're really trying to connect with that internal flow to feel the spaciousness, right? To feel that, to really connect with the space, the stillness, you felt it, you guys, you feel it. When you feel it, you know it. But you've got to make those adjustments when you need to make them. Because if you're fidgeting throughout the whole practice, then something's not right. Because you finding that stillness and openness allows you to feel that free flow of chi. And it's a practice. It's it's not, if we're practiced in distraction, then it's going to take time, right? It's the same as training for Trinity and I training for a marathon, right? We're not out there, we're not training for a marathon, training for a 5K. We're not out there every day running 5K right now. We're out there running for a minute, walking for a minute, running for a minute, walking for a minute, right? We're training in little bits. And so if you are really practiced in distraction, then you need to cut yourself a lot of slack and give yourself a lot of time, especially if you've had 40, 50, 60 years in practicing in distraction. Then it's going to take, you can't expect in one meditation practice to be able to walk into focus, right? Start small and then choose to focus and concentrate in your life as well, so that when you come to your meditation cushion, it's a little easier to focus. And then it will become a reciprocal relationship. Because if 16 hours of your life, if it's complete chaos, it's going to be complete chaos on the cushion too. You'll feel that. Okay. You guys are pretty quiet. Is that the quietness of the truth bell ringing again today? Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you on the forum this week. And have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your long weekend, Diane.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you today. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.